everyone, welcome to MarikaCreations. Today I will share with you 3 wooden decor creations, and for all of them I have used power tools. I think it's so much easier to work, to create. It speeds up the process a bit as well, which I like, so you can create even more. So stay tuned for all this. For my first DIY, I will make a wooden tray. So for the base, I will use this MDF sheet. It's quite thin. And I will take my measure tape and measure up a line in the center and 2 on the sides, like so. And you will shortly know why I have drawn these lines. So I figure out where the absolute center is, and then I take a piece of string and a pen and draw a circle around. It was not that even. I don't know what I did wrong there, but I am correcting myself here, just measuring around, make sure from the center that I have an even measurement all the way around. And once I'm happy with my circle, it is time to cut it out. And I'm using my jigsaw to do just that. And MDF is so easy to work with. It cuts it like a knife in butter. So very easy, just follow the line as best I can. And here it is, and I take my electric sander and work on the edges to make them nice and smooth and to make it as round as possible. I have some wood strips that I will use for this. You can certainly use just wooden stir sticks or something, but I have these, I got them for free, and I will make like a herringbone pattern on the top like that, and I will cut them off. I decided to do 10 centimeters, so I will just mark them all at 10 centimeters. And on the bottom of my tray, I will have these square shaped strips. So I will just mark them where I need to cut them. 1 on each side, that's what those lines are for, to know exactly where to put the feet of my tray. And now I'm here with my miter saw and cutting those 10 centimeter pieces to size, just measuring and cutting. Just make sure to line them up with that laser beam on the right side of my marking all the time, so they are equal in size. I just take my miter box for those square strips. So I start out by making pilot holes where I have my lines. Pick out screws that are long enough. Just screw them in just a tiny bit. And on the back side there I will put my strips. But first I will just sand them off, make them somewhat nice and smooth. And then it's time to put them in place. And I put some glue on like that and line them up and screw them into place. But okay, you have power tools, but once in a while power tools lose their battery power, so I do it by hand. Our other screwdriver was in the hands of my hubby somewhere else, so I couldn't use that one. So it works by hand as well, of course. Just takes a bit longer. Now I'm painting the bottom of my tray in a black satin color, and I applied 2 coats. I did the sides as well, but you will see that I had to retouch that a bit later on, and you will see why. So 2 coats, set it to dry. Meanwhile, I will focus on my 10 centimeter wood strips. I take my belt sander and sand them all off. This video is part of the Power Up challenge hosted by Sarah at Can Sarah DIY It, and her co-host for this month is Tammie at the Rusted Willow. I will leave links down in my description box to their channels, as well as a link to the playlist of this challenge for more inspiration. Now my tray has dried, and I have cut out and sanded all my pieces. I have 33 of those 10 centimeters, and I have a bunch of smaller ones that I also will have to use. So I will speed this up very quickly. I line them up, the first row, with that middle line that I drawn in the beginning. So now you know why I have that there. So I take my glue on the sides and on the bottom and just press them down, creating this herringbone pattern. And this glue was new to me. It's supposed to be very strong, so I like that. But I had some problems when it was drying. It was like expanding, and I had to go and push the pieces down every once in a while to make it look good still. And this is how it looked once it's completely dried. You can see the glue everywhere. So now I have some real tough sanding to do. I take just a rough grit sandpaper on my electric sander to begin with, just to get all that glue away, get it somewhat nice and smooth. And I noticed in the gaps between the wood pieces, you could see the glue kind of strange looking. So I decided to put some wood filler in between the pieces. I thought that would look much nicer than the glue. So I set that aside to dry for a little bit and sanded it off as well. Now I am at my scroll saw, new edition here at our house, and I'm excited to use it. And I'm just cutting off all the excess wood pieces around my tray to get a nice rounded shape. But as it turned out, it was not an easy task. As you can see here, it's not quite round, and right about here I lost my footage. What I did to get it round as this, I took a large plate that I found and I traced around it, and then I took my belt sander and sanded it off completely around the edges. So now I have a super perfect rounded shape. And now I'm on to the finer grit sandpapers, just sanding it all off, nice and smooth to the touch. And now I'm taking a black acrylic and just touching up the edges to get the black color nice where the MDF base is. And once that has dried completely, I will go in with my satin finished varnish and apply 2 coats. And this varnish is a mix with varnish and a natural oak stain, so I get that super nice finish. Last thing I will do is to put on some handles, some metal handles, vintage feel to them. I just bought them on Amazon. Just screw them into place, and I am done. And this is where I have it in my kitchen. Show you it empty to start with. I will have some oils and vinegar and the things like that on it. Looking pretty, I think. I'm happy with the result. Tell me what you think. And this is how it looks at the moment, with just some of my oils and salt and pepper on it. For my second DIY, I will make a wooden bird. I've been online, looked at a silhouette of a bird, and I've just drawn a bird on a piece of paper, cut it out, and now I'm tracing it onto a scrap piece of some oak wood board that I had on hand. And here I'm cutting out the bird with my jigsaw. It's time to do some serious sanding with my electric sander. Rougher grit, finer grit, super fine grit sandpaper, and that's about it. I'm almost done with this little bird. If you're new to my channel, hi, I am Marika, and on this channel I do lots of DIYs, thrift flips, trash to treasure, renovation of my home, some pottery, some painting, anything creative really. Please join me, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell and join my YouTube family. The last thing I will do is to cover my bird with this natural oak stain to really make that wood pop. A very simple piece of decor, but very nice looking, a touch of spring. It sits here in my kitchen looking pretty. For my third and final DIY, I will make a sign for our spa that we are creating. So I take a piece that is, well, big enough, slightly too small, so I will trace it a little bigger than this actual shape onto that wood plank, and then I take my jigsaw and cut it out. And here I'm taking my electric sander and sanding off the edges to get it nice and smooth, take away any uneven bits. I take a piece of paper and put on top of my wood round. Down at the bottom I will have a text, and on the top I will create the logo, sort of. So I'm just trying out, see if that text will fit somewhat, and it does. So I keep it in place and I trace where the wood round goes, just all the way around like that. And then I will create the logo, sort of, and it's our initials, Marika and Hjalmar, M and H. And the letters will sort of sway a little bit like a Japanese sign would, since the spa is Japanese inspired. So I take some carbon paper and put it on top of an MDF sheet, and then I mark my letters on it like that. So the letters, that's our initials, as I said, but we didn't want the spa to be called Marika and Hjalmar, so we decided to call it Maison d'Harmonie, and that is spelled MH as well, so it fitted the initials perfectly. Maison d'Harmonie, that's the house of harmony in French. And now I'm taking the scroll saw, and this is actually the first time I used it. For the first project, that was the second time, so I switched my projects a bit. So I'm cutting it out, and I'm quite nervous because it said in the manual you will probably break a few of the saw blades while trying to work this machine. So I was waiting for it to happen, but it didn't actually. So I'm sawing away here until I have everything cut out, and here it is. And as you can see, the lines are quite wobbly. I didn't make a perfect job for my first time trying, but I'm sanding off the edges to have it nice and smooth, prepared for painting. And here I'm putting on a black satin color on my piece, on the sides, on the front, applying 2 coats. And once I was doing that, I was at first a bit disappointing at my wobbly lines, but then I thought it looked like cherry blossom branches. Maybe I will do something with that. For my wood round, I have mixed some gold, a lot of gold actually, some brown, some black and some white, to get a sort of beigey goldy tone on it. And I use it as a stain, so I put in some water as well. So I'm putting it on with my paintbrush and wipe off the excess directly with just a paper tissue. I still want the wood grain to show, and I'm working with that gold over and over again to get a nice finish. And once I'm happy with the result, I will set it aside to dry. I already started here with the wording, just with a black calligraphy Sharpie, writing the words Maison d'Harmonie, the House of Harmony. And now I'm taking some wood glue on my initials there and just brushing it on with a paintbrush and put it in place. And I will put something heavy on top and let it sit overnight to cure. The last thing I will do is to put on a coat of my satin finished varnish to protect my colors. If you like this video and videos like this, consider subscribing and hit that like button. It will help my channel to grow, and I can spend more time creating inspirational content for you. My aim is to upload 1 or 2 videos per week. And you remember I was talking about it looked like cherry blossom branches. You can do without those blossoms, but I thought I'd try it. Just put it on with some hot glue so I can easily remove them if I please. Just a couple of them. And here it is, my beautiful sign for our spa. M&H, our initials, but also Maison d'Harmonie. Tell me, what do you think of my creations today? Did you have a favorite? Let me know in the comments. I love to read your comments, it makes my day. So now it's time to head on over to my description box and hit that link to the playlist of this challenge for more power tool inspiration. Just click and enjoy. Thank you so very much for watching. See you soon again in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.